Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Football Expo podcast series. Folks, we are like almost a week away from the expo. It is so close, you can taste it. We're going to talk tonight with one of the folks who have been part of the team from Belly Up Sports that has been here, I know, at least 3 years in a row. Maybe it's 4. I don't remember because I'm old. But we're going to talk about Belly Up Sports with Mr. Vince Stover right after this. Oh yeah, the countdown is on. We're about, I don't know, 7, 8 days. When this post, see, it'll be Wednesday. So yeah, we're like 9 days away. But my head's spinning. If you can't tell, probably need to take a lot of doggy downers to sleep at night. But I'm here with Vince Stover from Belly Up Sports. Vince, happy to have you. We're going to talk a little bit later about this. Will be your first experience as a member of Belly Up Sports and your first experience at the expo. But tell everybody where you're calling from, where Belly Up Sports kind of originates from, and then we'll take it question by question from there.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for letting us come on. Sure appreciate it as well. So I'm coming from Beloit, Wisconsin. Just moved from Kentucky in February. So
Who moves
relocated.
north? Nobody moves north.
Right,
Come on.
right. That's what work does sometimes, right?
Oh, okay, if it's
Uh,
work related, I'll let you fly. That's fine.
yeah. So yeah, I've been up here just a short time, but Belly Up started our main office, I suppose, is in the Cleveland area.
That's right.
So not
That's
too
right.
far. So from there, and Mike and Blaine, co-founders, have been very involved at the expo over this last several years,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen a lot of benefit as a company from visiting the expo and things like that. I'm really excited. My first time there.
Time, yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm excited. Some of these guys that I work with, we all do it remotely, and I have not met them face to face ever, even though I've worked with them
There
for
you
the
go.
last
All
5
right.
years. So I get an opportunity to meet some of my coworkers for the first time face to face as well. It's going to be an exciting time, just to intermingle with all the fantasy football frenzy that's going on.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate Belly Up Sports being a part of this, like you said, for a number of years now. Vince, so since nobody's met you before, let's interview you first. Tell us when you got into fantasy football. How many years ago? How old were you? Who pulled you into it? Talk about those humble beginnings for Vince Stover in fantasy football.
Yeah, so for me, it was 30 years ago. I was 11 years
I
old.
thought I was old.
My dad is a huge
Okay.
sports guy, so I
Yeah.
was named after Vince Lombardi.
There you go.
And so from day one, I was a sports fan. And so me and dad, probably at 9 years old, actually, just me and dad would just do like weekly, pick some guys, check the box score in the newspaper on Monday
Mhm.
to see who, how we did. But at
Yeah.
11, I got to get into a league. It was so much fun. The league manager, he would print everything off. The draft was in one big room. It was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So I've played fantasy football since I was 11,
Wow.
and gotten better, gotten smarter, broke some habits. Now I got my kids. I got 17 and 14-year-old boys. And, every year fantasy is a huge part of our life. Really, I host a fantasy baseball show also. And so
Mm.
my youngest son, actually, he's doing fantasy WNBA this year. And
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know he was doing it. He just told me, "Hey, Dad, I have my draft tonight." I said, what are you drafting? He said, WNBA. I was like, "You've never even watched a game." He said, "I
It
don't
doesn't
care."
matter.
So fantasy is kind of it's a fun part of our life. It's something that me and my dad bonded over. And when I was younger, it's something me and my kids bond over now. And it's a lot of fun. We can always get our friends involved,
Yep.
in all aspects of life with it as well, have fun with it. And sometimes maybe too much fun. And it's a good way to spend some time and a different way to watch sports, right? That's the thing that fantasy is
Yeah.
so intriguing.
Right.
I've been able to never cheer against my favorite team,
Mhm.
but I know people who quit fantasy because they found themselves cheering against. Those were Philadelphia people cheering against their Eagles, and they said, "I can't do this anymore." So
As a Browns fan, it was never a problem for
never
me.
a problem. I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think I love the family stories.
Mm.
Every year we see more and more dads, moms showing up with their kids who now are into fantasy. Like you literally could bring three generations. I assume your dad's still alive.
Yes.
Like, so you can literally bring three generations of fantasy, fantasy football
Hmm.
goodness. To me, is just like so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad was into football, passed away at an early age, sadly. I had three daughters. I literally had to pull one of them into it, kicking and screaming, but she does play now. The other one plays just because her future husband plays,
Yeah.
where she just, Dad, who did I draft? So, okay. But she does, she has fun with it.
Yeah.
But it's so great to have that family scenario. And I assume you're not bringing your sons down for the event?
No, so I'm actually my parents live in near Dayton, in Troy, Ohio.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to drop my kids off at my parents' house
Ah,
and let them hang out with grandma and grandpa for a couple
okay.
days, and I'll head
Well,
over to
someday you
the
got to bring them. I mean, come on, they're old enough; they
definitely.
can hang out with us. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
No, I love that. That is good stuff. I like you said, it just warms my heart when I see those scenarios. I would say about 3 years ago, the guy came with his wife, two kids, one girl, one boy. I think they were like 8 and 6,
Yeah.
and I go, kind of young, and he's like, "Oh no, they play," and I'm like, "Of course they do. Why would you not? Why would they not play?" I was like Dad of the Year right there.
That's right. Well,
No,
you
but
know,
anyway, so talk about like, first off, I have to ask this: you're not related to Matt Stover, I assume.
no, we've always called him cousin Matt, but
Okay.
no
No,
actual relation.
because I
Yeah.
had to, as a Browns fan, he did kick for us, I think, for a while. So
Yeah.
I had him like Stover. Well, wait a minute, huh?
Yep.
Well, I get it. Yeah. Well, we had there's a young man who has a site and is getting a booth, and his last name is Linkletter.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
and I know what that means,
Yeah.
right? You have to ask do you, and this kid's like 23, 22. And I go, I'm assuming you've been asked this, but are you any relations to Art Linkletter? And he's like, yeah, I've been asked, and no, I'm not. And I'm like, okay.
That's
And I go,
wild though.
and only people over the age of like 50 would know that name at all. So anyway, but all right, so let's move forward from your fantasy days way back when to now today. You're part of Belly Up Sports, great organization, a lot of great people. Like I said, Mike Brown, Napier, all those guys. What? How did you get involved with these guys, and what is your role? And talk a little bit about that, and then if you want to just expound then into telling everybody what Belly Up Sports really, is all about, I
Yeah.
certainly can do that as well.
Yeah, so I started podcasting. I started a show in January 2020. I was going to launch it beginning of the year, and it was going to be great. And then COVID hit, and not a whole lot to talk about for a couple months. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a real slow get off for me on my
Sure.
show. And so a few months through the summer, all that kind of stuff of 2020, I was just trying to find a way to get the show out there a little bit more, find ways to expand a little bit. Came across Belly Up Sports at that time. I think maybe 5 shows on the network, still a pretty young network at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
I reached out. We had a meeting. Me and Mike Brown's talked for a while. We talked a couple different times, and I was a little different, still am, than most of the people on the network as far as I'm a very traditional sports talk guy compared to some of the younger guys that are a little bit more dynamic and,
Mm-hmm.
more modern, I guess, Pat
Yeah.
McAfee style kind of things than me. So it was kind of a good fit for me because I could come in, I could stand out a little bit, all that kind of stuff as well. And it created more opportunities. So back then I was talking all sports, all the time, and then over time we've trimmed it down, so now we just talk college football, pro football on my personal show, the Sports Stove
Mm-hmm.
Football Show, and my dad actually joins me for that. So we get together once a
Cool.
week
Very
and we
cool.
talk football. It's an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into the fantasy baseball side of the website and the shows. I've hosted now the Belly Up Fantasy Live Baseball Show for this is my 4th year doing that,
Okay.
and that's kind of what got me into the fantasy side of Belly Up Sports, which then expanded into me taking over as the fantasy director this year, in January of this year, and so also started hosting the football show this year as well, the fantasy football show. So Belly Up Sports, it's pretty broad in the sense that it covers all sports. We've got writers and shows that cover basketball, hockey, baseball,
Mm-hmm.
football, and soccer. Can't leave that out, I suppose.
Yeah.
I always try to, but they always get mad at me about it. So we do soccer too. Um, but we've got right now, we've got about 13 shows that we're highlighting on the network. We've got more people that are involved in the network and things like that too. And then we've got writers as well. So on the fantasy side of things, it's all on bellyupsports.com. Everything's there on that website. On the fantasy side of things, Kevin Wilson, he's our senior fantasy writer. He's been writing now for about 4 years as well. And he covers pretty much any fantasy sport on the writing side of things, mainly football and baseball. He'll throw in a little hockey and basketball here and there too. And then we've just added Brian Germanaro, who's been in the network, but we just added him to the fantasy side of things this year. So he's doing fantasy football writing, and he's on the fantasy football show as well. So our main focus is football and baseball when it comes to fantasy.
Right.
We've never had it's hard to cover things unless people are really committed to it. And
Right.
basketball and hockey just aren't there yet where
Right.
baseball and
Right.
football are. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, we hit it a lot. Our main focus on the website is rankings. We do a whole lot of rankings,
Mm-hmm.
and then once the season starts, we'll do start sits, those kinds of things, and looking to weekly matchups and different opportunities and things like that too. The show that we do it every Tuesday night. And right now we've been going through rankings, so we're going a position at a time. We're doing my favorite segment. We call it the read option. I give the two guys on the show two players to choose from. You got to tell me, pick between this guy and this guy, and they tell me which one they like best for the season. And for me, I don't know. It's just it's a fun exercise to go through and
Mm-hmm.
kind of hear the reasoning behind. Because the one thing I love about fantasy players is everyone has a reason for what they do, a method for their
Yeah.
madness. And a
Right.
lot of times it's different, or at least some slight
Yeah.
differences in what
Yeah.
they're doing and why they're
Right.
choosing
Right.
what they're choosing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like doing that. We do a live draft as well. And
Okay.
in that, we'll bring on guys that are in the league on the show during the draft and ask
Okay.
them, okay, we're 3 rounds in. Why did you go with this guy here versus, whoever, whatever? And
Mm-hmm.
so people get to hear drafting philosophies as
Oh,
well.
nice.
That's only like a early part of the season, of course, but
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. To me, it's fun to kind of delve into the reasoning behind people or why they're making the decisions they're making.
Yeah. I mean, we can stare at ADPs all day. We can stare at rankings all day, but it all comes down to why do you have them there?
Yeah,
You can put it. You can put whoever you want number one. That's
yeah,
fine. I don't bother me. But why?
right.
Just because you rank them doesn't mean it's. Give me some reasoning. Give me some thought. Make me think. Make me go. Okay, yeah, I see that. And it's great because there are so many people who have reasons, have ideas. I mean, and again, I've been doing the consistency model for 10 years now.
Yeah,
Um, and I will even be changed. I think I forget who I was just doing a podcast with a couple weeks ago, and they made a very good point about Brees Hall, regardless of Justin Fields or whatever. And he's like, yeah, he could be top 12. And then I started like, well, yeah, he wasn't that far off last year, and it kind of sucked. And if he gets more passes out of the backfield from Fields, and Fields can make teams not have to stack the box against Brees Hall. Okay, so move mine up a little bit in the rankings, and
yeah,
that's what I love is like I learn from them, and
yeah,
hopefully there's people that will learn from me and go, oh, I should move David Montgomery up because he's really consistent every year. So I think that's what's a great thing about this community is somebody used the word cooperation. So we're cooperative, but we're competing.
sure.
And so we'll help each other. We'll share ideas between each other. We're competing, but we're also helping the fan or the listener gain some knowledge by listening to the two sides of
Right.
pluses and minuses and help them make a decision. I think a lot of people out there will say, I don't want you to listen. I don't want to tell you who to pick. I want to tell you why I like these people and then you pick.
Yeah.
Because if you just go and just pick what I pick, then what fun is that?
Right.
Even if you win,
Yeah.
and I made all the picks,
Yeah.
it's still like you have to feel almost dirty about it because you just took somebody else's ideas and just made the picks based on what they said. And yeah, you win a title and maybe you win some money, but at the end of the day, you're going to sit there and go, man, I was awesome this year. I was so great. Man, I made all the right picks. And like, you didn't make any picks. I did.
Right.
You just.
Well, and that's what I really like about our fantasy football show
Hmm.
is Kevin, he's a little older. He's older than me. And Brian, he's in his 20s. And
Hmm.
so we're getting two different age philosophies.
Sure.
Now, Kevin's from out west and Brian's from out east. So we get some
Ah, there you
culture
go.
differences there too.
Right.
And then we've got a guy who's a fan of Seattle and a guy who's a fan of the Giants. And so you have this good variety within the show. And then I always just tell them, I'm just here to guide the ship. And if you guys are wrong, I'll make sure I give everybody the right answer. So, so we kind of fill it in that way as well. And yeah, I think having that versatility, hearing multiple people, you should never just listen to one, right? I
Right.
mean, you got to have that variety. You got to
Hmm.
find, and that's what's great about the fantasy football community.
Hmm.
There are a lot of programs out there, a lot of shows, podcasts, YouTube shows, all these different things. And you can find there's some really, really solid people that are out there that, you just take a little bit of time to find them. And you're going to get some really good help. It's going to make you think about why you're doing what you're doing.
Hmm.
It's going to make you question some things about your previous strategy and hopefully give you some ideas to maybe just improve the strategy you're already using.
Yeah, no, and coming to the expo, you're going to get that. You're going to see that. So for folks that are out there watching the show, whether you're a fan of Belly Up Sports or not, come to the expo just to hear everybody. I mean, even though the weekend is great and there's a lot of fun, we got some parties going on Friday, Saturday, we got some drafts going on Saturday. The expo day and Sunday, to me, to some people, it's boring because they're like, wow, all the fun is over. I heard that one time, but the
Yeah,
fun is over. And I'm like, yeah, well, we had the fun. Now it's the learning process, right?
yeah,
It's like college. You
yeah,
can have fun on the weekends and you have to learn during the week. We just do it on Sunday.
yeah,
But coming there and listening to the panels with so many different voices from the top names like Bob Harris and Marcus Grant and Michael Florio, Michael Fabiano, all these people that have been in this industry and have been a part of this forever. And then there's also us, people like Belly Up Sports and me and others who have their niche and have really good information too. And then hearing all of that, you have all the stages, the different type, different genres of dynasty and redrafts and expert mock drafts and all this fun stuff. But you sit there and you learn. And it's okay if you miss one because there's a one on this stage, one on that stage.
yeah,
We record them all and put them on our Expo YouTube channel the next week so that everybody can watch what they missed.
yeah.
So it's just a great time. We really appreciate you guys being a part of it. You guys have been a great supporter. I know you guys used to always have your own team in the flag football. We had to scale that, but we tried to scale that back this year. More just we're going to do some meet and greets with some of the big names. Try to be more fan centric.
Yeah.
Not that we may not go back to the flag football. It's certainly a plan, but we just wanted to kind of maybe do some more fan based stuff to get more fans involved. To learn from all of these very smart people like Belly Up Sports and others. So, yeah, Vince, and what do you got planned for the booth? Belly Up Sports booth. It's always a good one. It's always very engaging. A lot of good stuff going on. Talk about what you guys got planned for 2025.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of content that we're going to be doing based off of the expo and from the expo. We've got guys coming from I think 4 different shows that'll be there in the booth and around. Both of our co-owners will be there. Mike and Blaine, they're there every year, and DJ and Kelsey from High Low Sports is going to be there. Jared's going to be there. He's from Corner Booth Podcast. I'll be there from the Belly Up Fantasy side and the Sports Stove Football Show, and so. What we really like to do is we just like to pump out content wherever we can, whenever we can. Right. So, and we love meeting people, talking to people, hearing, some people have opinions about our programs and sometimes
Yeah.
it's good to hear it. Sometimes it's not, but, just to meet people who listen. There really is few things better than meeting someone that says, "Hey, I watch your program, listen to your program, whatever." It's just
Mhm.
it's just neat to put faces,
Right.
and build those little relationships outside as well. And we're going to be interacting with people that we've worked with in the past, people that we know. I'm at that age where flag football is not a big deal to me. Getting the chance to meet and
Nope.
listen to guys is a big deal to me. I find that fun.
Yeah.
I'm at that age, so
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. Like I said, every year in our network, it's always talked about, and it's been pushed for a while now. And
Mhm.
we get together, we get an Airbnb, we get together, hang out, do some content in the Airbnb, do some content at the expo. We'll meet and continue to plan for the future and things like that as well. Because we kind of in 2025, we're kind of revamping, I guess, our fantasy side of things at the website too,
Okay.
and we've had a great start to it this summer, and it's rolling really, really well. We're excited about what's ahead. We do a charity every year, the Belly Up Bowl.
Cool.
It's
Good.
Alex's lemonade stand. The money goes towards that, and so people can look for that on our socials and
Okay.
sign up if they want to. It's a best ball stuff, and
Yeah. Well,
it's
let
a
me
good.
know. I'll be happy to get in it.
Yeah, it's a good time. So, for this next weekend, like I said, I'm super stoked because I haven't been able to
Yeah,
get
it's your first time, right? You're like the kid in the candy store, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be
right.
great.
I'm asking guys, hey, what do I need to bring? What do I, all that kind of stuff. What do I need to be ready for?
Yeah. Train
Uh,
your liver. That's all I can tell you.
so, for me, I'm excited about it. I think for the network, it's kind of something our year is planned around to a degree
Hmm.
for the
No,
network too.
definitely
So,
appreciate
that'll
that.
be fun.
Yeah, no, again, thank you to you, Vince, to Mike, to Blaine, everybody at Belly of Sports. Can't thank them enough for all the support you guys have given this event and this scenario. Before I go, tell everybody where they can, where the website is, socials, all the great stuff for Belly of Sports, and then I'll take it out from there.
All right. So yeah, bellyupsports.com is the website. It'll get you pretty much everywhere you need to go. At that point, you can get to our shows that way. You can get to all the articles for all the different sports, the fantasy side of things as well. The best way, if you like to watch shows, is the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. If you like to listen to shows, all of our shows have podcasts as well. So
Mhm.
fantasy wise, it's the Belly Up Fantasy Live Football Show. That's where you can find the podcast version of it as well. Social media, if you go Belly Up Sports, you're going to get there. At Belly Up Sports on Twitter and Instagram, Belly Up Sports on Facebook as well. And then I'm at Sports Stove personally, and put out a lot of content. I'm an NFL draft heavy guy, so I've already got my 2026 big board out there for the draft and all
For
that
college
kind
guys,
of stuff.
okay.
Yeah, so I plan way ahead on some of these things as well. So a lot of college football, pro football, fantasy baseball, all that good stuff going down right now on all of our socials and things like that too. So I guess that's everywhere to find us. So we hope that
All
people will
right.
come out and see us at the expo.
Yeah. Thank you again, Vince, for coming on. Tell Mike and Blaine I said hi, and
Good.
I will see you all next week. So once again, Bob Long, Big Guy Fantasy Sports. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Uh, the Fantasy Football Expo, folks. The online sales are going to be cut off after Friday. So get your tickets now. If you come, you can buy them at the door. So it's not like you can't get here. You can still come, buy them at the door. It's totally fine. You'll save $25 if you buy them before Friday. So that's a good idea. But if not, we'll see you at the door. If not, if you got your tickets, fantastic. We'll see you all there. Belly Up Sports will be there. You should be too. So for Vince Stover, I'm Bob Lung. Everybody take care. God bless. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching. Lock in your 2025 football tickets now at thefantasyfootballexpo.com. Hit subscribe and check out one of these excellent at FF Expo videos next.